Hi everyone, welcome to Bad Ellie. I'm Chris King, and today we're reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy was an idea that Marvel has been cooking up since 2010. So it was extremely exciting as a comic book fan to know that something so obscure and something so unknown as Guardians of the Galaxy was coming to movies pretty soon. It's a really exciting thing to see when you have characters like Ant-Man and the Guardians, as I said, who are just really unknown in the entire comic universe, even to comic book fans, come alive, and that's just an amazing experience. So I was extremely excited out of the box just to go in. I had really high expectations for this movie because it's something so easy to do. It's just stay true to the source material and you'll have a good gold movies. So that being said, let's jump right into the breakdown. Screenplay. The screenplay overall really works for me. I mean, like I said, when you say so close to the source material, and I understand things have to be changed at certain points, that's fine, but make it work for the source, make it work for the material that you were given to, and take advantage of such richness and lore. The screenplay does work with that. It works with the fact that you're in this grand universe. This is not that related to Thor and Iron Man, that kind of stuff. This is on the other spectrum. This is what I like to call the misfit adventures. This is a team that are a group of outlaws and criminals coming together for a better purpose, you know. So the screenplay does really work in that sense. It explains why people have to come together. I think they missed a little bit of a chance with the whole fact that I think this could have been just a Star-Lord movie. Call it Star-Lord and let the next movie at the iteration, which is coming out in 2017, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, let that be the origins of the Guardians. Let that be more about the focus of them blending and now them utilizing those powers that they now have to overcome, evil. So with this movie, it did really work for me. I think that the dialogue was exceptionally well. I think that the screenplay, it flowed perfectly. From start to finish, I was excited. I was invested. I was never distracted. I think everything worked really well with the source material that they were given. I think that one section that they could have improved upon was the fact that they over influenced the fact that this is about the 70s and 80s as far as Star-Lord is concerned, which is fine, but as I said, you should have called this a Star-Lord movie. Those are some times where the jokes were just kind of hit way too many times with the hammer. It was just pounded into you that this was 70s and 80s kind of, homage, those kind of times, which is cool, but I think they overdid a little bit too much. The acting. I think Chris Pratt, as I've always said, he's just an amazing actor. He's someone who's been waiting to become a star ever since, really just Parks and Rec. Then you put him in movies like Zero Dark 30, and he just kind of steals a show for you. So he does that here too. He's someone who, obviously there's a focus of the movie, but he's someone who I think deserves to be a star. This is someone who I can definitely see being Star-Lord for the next couple of years, and more importantly, break out into these other bigger roles, especially maybe action. Who knows? He's obviously going to be on the lighter side of these kind of movies. He has Jurassic World coming out in a year or so that's really exciting to see too. So Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana, of course, she's amazing in everything she does. As long as it's a good, well-written movie, she brings the best of her potential to the forefront. So that's always great to see. Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel, they did great jobs. I have no complaints with either one of them, especially Bradley Cooper. I think for a lot of people, he's going to steal the show for them. So that was really great to see such a rich character come to life. My only gripe is Bautista. He's obviously not a professionally trained actor. He doesn't have that kind of experience. I understand that. But, this is a time where you could have really broke out. If he wants to continue acting and stuff, maybe this is just a side gig. Who knows? But he did bring his own flair, which is cool. But a lot of it was just kind of deadpan comedy. I think it could have been suited for someone else. He does look the part. That being said, he looks exactly what I would imagine a human version of Drax would look like. He does really fit the part really well. The overall design of this movie is also, like I said, everything works so cohesively, and it's awesome to see. From the ship design being unique, which is I'm so thankful for, because you now all have all those random kind of ships everyone forgets about. The ship design is unique. The costume design works for this movie. It's definitely a walk away from the original costumes, but I'm glad. I never really was a big fan of those costumes, but for the purists out there, I think it works. It works much more like that kind of Han Solo, Star Wars kind of feel, so it does really look awesome. And as far as that goes, you also have the color. The color balance in this movie is extremely wide. You have from violets and magentas to these great, exciting blues and greens that you don't really see often in movies. So that was really cool to see too. It kind of immerses you a little bit more into this color spectrum that they had going. So, and as you can see from many of the photos, everything just kind of a really bright backdrop, which just absolutely looks beautiful. Now, as far as how is this, taken with the camera. The cinematography does its job as well. It followed a lot of the action, and a lot of this movie does have many action sequences, which is cool, but each one felt different, and that's what's so special about this movie. Many times when you get action movies, the reason why they become so boring is because they're so similar. You have chase scenes, and then you have these, you know, indoor fight scenes and stuff, but nothing ever really feels unique. This one felt unique. You had a mixture of slow motion sequences, which actually worked, and then you have a mixture of these kind of long panning sequences, which also really felt really Avengers-like. That was really cool to see too. The atmosphere and mission in this movie does tie it all up into this really big franchise that I think is going to explode. It's something that I was mostly excited for personally, and I know a lot of people are going to they're going to relate a little bit more to the Avengers and the kind of lighter side. Me personally, I was so excited for Guardians, and I was not disappointed. I think that if you guys, as a comic book fans, go see it. Sci-fi fans, go see it. If you're a fan of just the 70s, 80s culture, you know, all those kind of movements and stuff, and you have now, if you're an action fan, you know, it does work the whole table around, and it just kind of brings flavors for everyone to enjoy. The one thing I will say that was kind of a little bit misinterpreted was the whole PG-13 aspect of this movie. It really does hit it on the head. I wouldn't suggest it for anyone under 13. You know, if you guys have seen all the other Marvel movies, you know, go ahead, I guess, if your parents allow it. But with the under 13, there's so many crass jokes, which, I mean, they are tasteful in a sense. They are kind of funny at times, but there's a few times and a few moments where they really push it. And I mean, I wouldn't personally be bringing anyone under 13 to go see this movie. But right around 13, a little bit over that, I think it's pretty well received. Just, you know, as far as it's suggested, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. This is the Rebel Avengers. These are the Misfit Avengers. So you're going to see kind of different sequences that are a little bit of a disparage from what the actual MCU being with Thor and Iron Man and Captain America, which were much more grounded. This is much more like you're taking a Western and you're setting in space. So with all this being said, guys, Guardians of the Galaxy gets a 5 out of 5. I'm really excited for this movie, and obviously we know Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is in 2017. My only advice would that be is that I would have thought that a Guardians of the Galaxy movie would have been better after a Star-Lord movie alone, or maybe just introduce some of these characters a little bit more. Take this with a grain of salt as well. It does become a little bit apprehensive at the fact that it's a little bit confusing because you have 5 characters coming together, and you really don't know too much about all of them except for Star-Lord. You have a lot. He's much more of a fleshed out. The rest of them were not really fleshed out well. So just kind of, you know, if you have to do your research beforehand to kind of pick up on some of the origin stories, I would suggest that. But overall, I'm really excited for this movie. Really excited for what Marvel has done here. And personally, I will say this is my favorite Marvel movie that has come out so far. A lot of people are going to relate to Avengers, like I said, or, you know, maybe Captain America Winter Soldier. Me personally, I thought it was fantastic. So if you guys have seen it yet, it does come out today. We got a chance to go see it last night. So if you guys have seen it yet, let us know down below, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions about what Marvel is doing here with such a great franchise? What other kind of franchise are you excited for that are going to be coming out? You know, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Ant-Man, whatever it may be. Let us know down below. What are your thoughts? And just kind of tell us what you want to see more from us and all these kind of films.